Yeah, before
then
dessert.
during dessert, it's like in church, you know, asking for gifts, right? And then you hand over a little bag around and hey, we still need a little bit more to cover the wedding.
We've hit 70%. Come on, guys.
Come on, just a little bit before you dig into your mango pudding, Just like, just take it out of your pockets, whatever spare change you have, I appreciate it.
Yeah. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Yala, your thrice weekly podcast where we talk about the hottest news with a touch of what, Terrence?
Good old humor, man.
Good old humor, man.
Yeah.
Can't believe we're coming to the end of 2023, man.
Yes, we're barreling towards the end of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Been quite a busy period, right? This whole end of the year stuff with our Folklory and everything happening. Yeah.
The Folklory cassettes.
Yeah, Christmas is the season.
Yeah. I guess because it's a gift, right? It's
correct.
a gift. But how was your weekend, man?
No, it's pretty good. I was in a lot of crowded places, and unfortunately, some people I was with have now been diagnosed with COVID-19.
They have succumbed.
Yeah, fell one of the 50,000 to have 56,000 that have gotten it the past week.
Yeah.
So I think we called it here. Right? Like maybe circuit breaker coming up or something.
Hey, that one you cannot puff, no. You'll get Lawrence Wong specifically come out and say this is false news.
False news, yeah.
False news.
But kind of, it's that close to home already, right? For me. For you? Has anyone around you kind of COVID yet?
A friend.
Okay.
But closer than that, family-wise, not yet. Not yet.
But I've resumed the masking up in crowded areas already.
Yeah.
That means like circa 2021 fashion. Yeah.
And I think you, like when you wear the mask now, right? Does it feel like you, a world of difference, or it's like, your body is like, okay, getting into like mask mode?
It does make you more aware of hygiene, right? I think we talked about this before. There's the mask mode, Yeah.
Makes you more aware of hygiene.
Yeah. Like
so you put on, immediately you're like, wow, wash hands this, wash hands that,
Generally a bit more. Yeah.
For me, no, man. I just put on a mask. It's like another piece of clothing.
Oh, you're so used
So I don't think it changes. I mean, the only time I've been wearing masks in recent times is if I go to the doctor or hospital or something. But apart from that, I haven't gone down the path to like wearing in crowded areas yet.
Okay.
But I notice when I'm in the hospital, I wear it. It's just like another piece of clothing. It doesn't change my behavior at all.
You like it, lah?
No, I hate it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You like it?
No, I don't like it, lah. But that's where it triggers that muscle memory of like being a bit more conscious about hygiene.
I think because I'm a very adaptable person. So I wear it, it becomes like a second skin, really.
I see.
Yeah.
I would actually rather use the word inconsiderate, lah. Basically, you don't care about whether your mask, whether wearing a mask helps
glass
anyone
is half full, glass is half empty, Terrence. Glass is half full, glass is half empty.
I wear a mask so that I don't infect anyone.
I still wear the mask. In fact, I wear like the hardcore mask, no.
The one you wear for like 6 months and don't wash, don't change one, right? You're like breeding mold on it.
No. I would say like maybe 1 month if I haven't washed it, I have to wash it.
1 month.
To wash it.
Well, stuff, you know how much stuff can grow in a month.
Yeah, but that sort of stuff that grows in a month, I think it's worse for me than the people around me.
That's what you think, lah.
It's not a virus, right?
What do you mean?
Like, I don't think a virus can stay on the surface of a mask for like a month in open air.
No, but in general, just the mask itself.
Oh yeah, it's filthy for me. It's filthy for me. But it's not contagious.
Yeah. Then when you fall sick and then you become contagious and everything, right?
Yeah, but
it doesn't matter because it's someone else. It's not your problem, right?
No. I don't see how that... Maybe my general baseline behavior is already hygienic.
No. I have a lot of examples just flashing through my mind that just... Yeah.
Like what? The laptop, is it?
No. Yeah, we could go down a whole rabbit hole talking about it. But yes, the laptop is one.
I mean, my laptop is like any other laptop, lah. There's some stains here and there, but that's about it.
Stains is one thing, lah. Is when you actively see people like using their hands to eat things, then still typing on a laptop, like right after. Then I think that it goes into the realm of like, it's not accidental anymore. You know that it's happening. You know that the stains from your food and everything are getting on the laptop.
But it's food, lah. So it's not, say, unhygienic per se, right?
Yeah, assuming that it's your own laptop that no one else ever has to use, right?
Yeah.
If it's a communal laptop, a company laptop kind of thing. Someone else has to use it at some point or something, right?
But I clean it, I clean it regularly.
Oh, yeah. Once a month, is it? Once a month?
No, this one more. This one more.
Oh, yeah.
How did this become like a whole study about my hygiene standards?
Because you fired the first salvo about you're adaptable. That's why you.
Yeah.
I
think I am still adaptable.
No, so that I'm just giving you
you
a yalla butt moment.
No, you went personal already. You brought up all this stuff that probably people listening, they're like, I don't give a shit about what Harish does with his laptop.
No, but it is it is important that we be very clear about what terms you're using to describe your own your own adaptability, right? And things like that. Because as we will see in our first topic later, right? Using vague terms to describe, the good that you do for the world is very misleading. And that's what I'm trying to call it. That's what I'm trying to call out. Someone being unhygienic and inconsiderate saying that I'm adaptable. See, that's misleading.
Why is it misleading? Am I selling you a product? Am I selling you myself?
You're selling the idea of yourself.
That I'm adaptable. I still stand by the fact that I'm adaptable.
Yeah. So you're selling the idea on this podcast, trying to convince people.
Yeah, but you are retorting based on your own subjective experience.
Lived experience.
Your lived experience. Your individual
observations I've made.
If only there was a standards authority of Harish. But
hygiene standards for Harish.
Yeah, exactly. But before we jump into the first topic, what is our usual spiel, Terence?
Well, if you're new here, I know a lot of people are new here because people who have discovered our recent interviews with Soryong and Shanmugam. Welcome, firstly. But secondly, please follow and subscribe to this channel, wherever you listen to or watch it, because that, at least tells us that, there are all of you out there. Because I know a lot of our people who watch our videos or come across our videos are not subscribers. I would say the majority, right? So, it helps us to know that who you guys are and what you're watching and what you like to watch, etc.
Exactly. And if you want to work with us, just reach out at contact@ministryoffunny.com. Sweet. Okay, cool. First topic.
Yeah. And it's precisely about working with content creators and all as well, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Similar. Yeah.
So this news came out on 15 December that aircon ad by local brand Prism Plus was pulled by the Advertising Standards Watchdog. And was kind of deemed misleading and accused of greenwashing. And of course, it features none other than long-time media personality Xiaxue,
aka Wendy Cheng.
And I saw some articles like introduce her as blogger Xiaxue. When was the last time you read something that introduced someone as a blogger?
Yeah. I think only Mr. Brown you would say blogger and people will understand that, right?
But even younger people like Gen Zs now, like for them blogging probably means nothing, right?
Anything,
Unless maybe blogs are So I mean, basically there was an ad that was put that ran from middle of October to middle of November, featuring Prism Plus's aircon model. And what happened in the video was essentially Xiaxue was let me see. What exactly happened?
Well,
yes, okay.
Yeah.
So she's in her living room, and I think she gets a call or something, because we tried finding the video, but you can't find it anywhere. She gets a call about saving Earth or something, and then she gets told that the best tip to save Earth, and I say that in air quotes because I think it is part of the video, would be to set the temperature to 23 degrees Celsius because of the aircon's energy efficiency. Yeah, and then the caption is save Earth and electricity with 5 ticks energy saving. So she turns on the aircon, wears winter wear, and apparently saves the Earth.
Yeah.
So it was deemed not acceptable under the Singapore Code of Advertising Practice, known as the SCAP. Yeah. So I mean, since then, Prism Plus has come out and said that they have stood by their satirical kind of tone to all their ads, but they also say they have a good relationship with SCAP and the ASAS, which is the Advertising Standards Authority of Singapore, and they took down the video, both on Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah.
So I mean, So I mean, like first of all, it's amazing how Xiaxue still remains to be in the news. With this, how do you find out about this news?
Mothership, man.
Mothership, huh?
Yeah, it was all over Mothership.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's quite amazing how somehow she just manages to not even on her own accord insert herself into, I wouldn't say insert herself into these things, but like remember the whole fiasco with the
mask lady.
the mask lady,
Yeah.
and then Xiaxue was brought up to testify in court
Yeah.
because she happened to be filming a video at the time when mask lady walked by without a mask
behind her,
yeah.
Right?
So I was like, wow, like this is I mean, it's like 4D, like it's like she's meant for this kind of limelight, like to be in the middle of this drama. And then when I saw this, I was like, wow, it's like the first time that they pull this greenwashing accusations and everything. The first time they actually enforce some kind of advertising standards on greenwashing, Xiaxue is part of it.
Yeah, because like it's the first time they've ever pulled an ad for supposed greenwashing, right?
Yeah.
So wow, that is, and I mean, I think I saw it last Friday. People were posting about it, and like, of course, she will get bashed.
Yeah,
because she's a easy target, right? And Prism. So I think everybody probably has heard of Prism.
Yeah.
Sentiments are divided. I know they are known for like cheap tech products, lah.
Sure.
Right, TV and now aircon. And one tactic they use is always working with influencers.
Yeah.
Right. And I would say feels like they generally have a bad rep. Would you say that?
Actually, no.
No.
Well, when you say bad rep, depends on which base you're looking at, because a lot of people are buying their monitors and the TV sets and now air cons and water purifiers and everything.
Yeah,
air purifiers. I mean, admittedly, a year or two back when I was like on searching for a new TV, I was also looking at Prism Plus's options.
Yeah, I bought a Prism before. And I mean, so far, like it's held up.
Yeah.
And I mean, for the price, it's hard to beat, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I always wonder, like, okay, so yeah, I agree, it's not a full bad rep, but I know people who really don't like and would never buy Prism Plus products. And when I ask them, also, why not? I think they just don't trust the quality, lah.
And why is that so? I mean, so it's interesting because on one hand, some people are saying because it's like OEM rebranded products, like white label, meaning that someone manufactures it in China and then a Singapore company, in this case Prism Plus, just slaps on their logo onto it and then marks it up and sells it to the consumer.
And comes up with marketing and all that kind of stuff.
And that's one aspect of why people don't like it. The other aspect is that people seem very disturbed that so many influencers are peddling the products, right? And it's true, you go to Prism Plus's, is it Prism Plus or Prism?
I think Prism Plus.
Prism Plus, right?
Yeah,
you go
Prism
to their Instagram, it's really, every post features some kind of influencer, I think. Right? I don't know what the arrangement was, whether there was it's paid advertising or in-kind sponsorship of their products or something. But a lot of influencers I've seen have used and have their products at home, right? So there seems to be two main reasons why people dislike it so much. One is for the fact that it's just marked up OEM goods. The other because they work with a lot of influencers, which kind of makes me think about, is it that bad that they are working with a lot of influencers to sell a product? What do you think about that?
I think it's a lot more of the influencer piece than the OEM piece.
Really?
Yeah, because the OEM piece, I mean, okay, let's face it, like everything you buy now, what differentiates an OEM from a non-OEM? They're all still made in China, right? One is the branding and all is done by the people who maybe didn't come up with the design and all. So, I don't know, I would assume it's more the influencer thing.
But just going back to what your earlier rhetorical question is, I mean, if you buy like a Sony TV, for example, or Panasonic or what, you know that their R&D was spent to create this TV for the most part the higher end stuff. I don't know. I've heard the lower end stuff could possibly be rebranded OEM stuff, but that the money that you're paying for goes into a line
quality
item. The balance sheet is R&D, and if shit breaks down, you go to the Sony showroom in 313 Somerset. That's Sony right? It's not another company or just a brand or something being charged of it. So I think there will be a slight difference in quality right?
Yeah. So I think there are almost 3 tiers. There's like Sony, they own the whole manufacturing line, R&D and all. There's Prism. And then there are the ones that, when you go on Lazada and you look for earphones and you see these brands that you never heard of.
Yeah.
There's no phone number.
Yeah.
There's no website. So to me, that is like the lowest tier that I wouldn't buy. But for Prism, I see it as like, okay, of course it might be similar in quality to Sony, but okay, let's say there's definitely a difference in quality. But the price difference is huge also.
It's big,
yeah, it's big. And Prism, at least there's a website. It's a Singapore company. It's incorporated here. I don't know if they have a showroom or not. I don't think so.
They do.
Oh, they do.
Physical
So yeah,
locations.
so then I feel like, oh, okay, they check all those boxes. Why does it still have like this feel which other Singaporean companies don't have? I think it's an influencer thing.
But what if I told you that you could get the exact same television that you bought that's not branded under Prism, like from Hisense or one of these places, for even cheaper, hundreds of dollars cheaper, and it's available in Singapore. You can buy it in Singapore.
Hisense is what?
It's a China company.
Yeah.
Like China TV manufacturer.
Do they have like a number to call? Do they have a place to go to? I can do.
Probably the China, either the Harvey Norman or whatever, the place you can buy it from itself, or the online.
Yeah, then I would say no.
Oh, so you need a Singaporean person to answer the phone.
Not Singaporean person. It just feels like
Singapore first.
The more I can't, like, there's so many things to just have being able to raise an issue, right? That gets a big red flag to me, lah. Yeah, and I don't like that.
Wait, so many more. What? Sorry.
Like there's no contact number. You can only chat this. There's no showroom. There's no like easy access to raising issues or enforcing a warranty or something. Then I'll feel like I would rather not, lah.
So, but you would not pay extra if there was more than just the number. You know that these people also manufactured the product and they understand it. They understand the product inside out, compared to just someone who rebrands something and doesn't know how to actually fix it.
I would definitely be open to paying more. Then the bet becomes how much.
Okay.
And like how much is that product itself? Is it kind of a long-term thing? Yeah. So I will definitely be open.
But that's why I guess some people, or at least quite a vocal minority online, don't like it, lah. That the fact that they are marking up for essentially nothing to do with the actual, the quality of the product itself. They're marking up for the geographic, not say monopoly, the geographic boundary that they operate in, and marking up for slapping their brand and marketing and paying influencers to do marketing for them and all that, lah. That's what people are so upset about. But yeah, I mean, if you're just a casual consumer who doesn't care a lot about between the what your 3 tiers that you talked about, between the second and third tier, what the big differences are there, then I think it fills a market gap, lah, right?
Yeah, it fills a market gap.
Yeah.
And let's say if it's a laptop or something for work, or like a monitor that you need for editing and all, then that one I would want to pay for something that I'm very sure, lah.
Yeah.
But if it's something where casual viewing once in a while, so I'll be open to it. And if you think about other products, because the founders of Prism Plus have also founded another pretty well-known company, You know which company?
Is it the water one?
No.
Then which one?
It's Omnidesk.
Oh, yeah, Omnidesk. That's right. Yeah.
Which is a local brand. I think they work with influencers. But
they do.
I would imagine it's seen quite positive, Like they have a more positive brand.
Yeah.
There's something about Prism that just based on people's reactions and all, I hear, why this feel? And I think maybe it's the nature of the ads. Yeah, maybe it's the nature of the ads.
I mean, inevitably, when influencers are involved, you scroll through the ads as well. Suddenly, there's someone's butt cheeks like staring back at you when they're talking about aircon, right?
Because must do low angle,
or they lie
low
on
angle
the
shot.
bed and so hot. And I'm like, okay, what was the intent of this advertisement, like, right? And so that's where it leaves bad taste in people's mouths also, like that. You're obviously using sex to sell something that aircon. Okay, like aircon. Yeah, like some people will argue that you need aircon to have sex and all that, right? Especially in Singapore. But yeah, the advertising shouldn't be using. I guess people are thinking that shouldn't be using so much sex to sell it, right? Yeah.
And also because it's a tech product, right? But you never get like the tech influencers to market it, right?
Yeah.
That's why whenever you see the Prism ads, it feels so like, wait, do you really like this, or is it just because they give you a free 65-inch TV?
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
But the flip side is a lot of people know Prism because of those ads. Right. And if they are really fighting on just the cost, then okay lah. but they probably are opening up themselves for a lot more like criticism lah.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I mean, I didn't end up buying the Prism.
Yeah.
I ended up paying a bit more for another, a brand that kind of that has been around a long time and everything lah.
For a TV, is it?
Yeah, for TV.
Yeah.
But I did realize like, a lot of these household things that you buy, there's different tiers to it also lah, in terms of how easy or how difficult they are to dispose of lah, right? Television is actually not that bad already. Like, okay, you buy a TV, it's big, but once you get someone to move it out, it's gone, right? But when it comes to aircon,
Wow, that one.
yeah. So that was something I read up also about all this lah. Is that aircon is something that you kind of install, and then to get it fixed or to get it changed or something like that, it's really troublesome, right? Because you got to hack the walls and repaint and all these things. So there's certain products that you can buy cheaper, buy OEM on that, but a lot of people are saying online like aircon's not something that you want to like try and save a little bit of money on.
Yeah.
You really should go for the name brands, right?
Yeah.
So in this sense, I think because this is an aircon that they're selling here, it's also worth like examining like why greenwashing might not be good, might not be a good thing that they use in advertising.
Yeah, because I mean, this one, the main thing is that because okay, so first of all, when we were researching this and all, one question that came to mind was like, okay, what is an ad? Because like Prism Plus, they came out and defended themselves by saying, okay, they will take it down, but they do believe in like the satirical nature of their videos, and they quoted this one video for their TV they did like a few years ago where someone watched the TV and then was transported to different universes or different situations because of how immersive the TV is. And they said that one was no issues lah.
Yeah.
But in this case, I think because it kind of like, I mean, right now the greenwashing is essentially overstating the environmental merits of a product or a service or a technology, right?
Yeah.
Which right now people sometimes that it becomes a plus point for any appliance, right? So if they're doing this without backing it up or kind of making it seem a little misleading, then that is the cause for concern.
And they're exaggerating. They're saying you save the earth, right?
By turning on the aircon.
Yeah, which is like turning on the aircon is probably like the last thing. Like, even no matter how efficient it is the last thing that actually would be able to help save the earth, right?
Yeah, because I mean, they did say that they I rephrased them. They were saying that they assume that people would be able to understand that turning on an aircon, regardless of how energy efficient it is definitely not going to save the earth But this was just a tongue-in-cheek thing. So when you hear that, like what do you respond with?
I think, and that's where like advertising laws and guidelines are important, right? Because there's assuming that the audience is like, smart enough to discern for themselves and all that. I think that's where it's a bit misleading, right? I think advertising by its nature reaches the masses, especially when you work with a big influencer like Xiaxue like that. And you can't just assume that everyone will understand the satirical nature of the ad or what you're trying to say, right? You really need to think about the lowest common denominator, so to speak. Like if a child sees the ad and says that and learns that, this aircon can save the earth, does it make that child like actually will that child be able to discern the satirical nature of the ad? I don't think so, right? And so that's where I think when they are making such exaggerations and then saying that, hey, no but it's meant to be satirical and people should know. I think that's not right also
And I mean, to be clear, like the Singapore Code of Advertising Practice, in their document that's like I think 70-80 pages long, they define an advertisement that is any form of commercial communication for any goods or services, regardless of medium use. And so that was one thing that I was thinking, like, why is this an issue? Because people make satirical videos all the time. Is it just because it's attached to a company? But this one, they actually paid for advertising. But then, like, you think it is mainly because it is around the environment and greenwashing that it became such an issue? Because okay, let's say we last time we did a video for Uniqlo,
Correct. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Where it was for their airism thing, right?
Yeah.
And we came up with an anti-sweat machine that we claim was better than airism.
To help you keep cool.
To help you keep cool with like fucking toilet paper on my head and a fan and like liquid running through pipes. In the end, we deemed it to be not as good.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, if we said it was better than airism, at keeping you cool, would that be flouting the advertising standards?
Possibly, but not greenwashing.
So that means the main thing this one is because of greenwashing.
Yeah. I think this is a response in more recent times to the fact that there have been studies that shown that a lot of businesses, online businesses in Singapore, actually they use very vague terms and use a lot of technical jargon about environmental sustainability that people don't understand in advertising, which and that's where, and then now younger people are more willing to pay for goods that they think leave a smaller carbon footprint on the world. So it's like highly recommended the Chris Rock's Netflix comedy special, where he talked about how brands like Lululemon are talking about racism and politics and discrimination in the ads, when actually all he wants is to know about the ball sweat in the yoga pants, right? How do you handle ball sweat, So I think that's the thing, companies and advertisers, and they know that selling this green message actually can get a lot of consumers onto the brand. Yeah. So I think in response to that, there has to be some guardrails around what kind of advertising they do.
Because let's say, just now you mentioned that in climates like Singapore, to get intimate, maybe you need aircon. So if the ad was to solve our birth rate, the aircon it will help save our population. Then it probably might not be an issue.
Not an issue. That's a subjective thing. You could say, you could claim it's true.
I don't know whether there are studies to show that in more temperate climates, people copulate more.
Or imagine if someone, because it's LKY 100, Lee Kuan Yew, I think he said that aircon is the most important invention ever. Because
correct.
in place like Singapore, it has allowed productivity to flourish. Imagine if they used his face or his name in advertising for aircons. You think that would go down well with the
Actually,
ACAS?
Fucking the chrysanthemum tea can.
True.
But chrysanthemum tea was free. They didn't sell it.
Yeah, they didn't sell it.
So this one, they must give free aircon.
Yeah.
Free aircon with Lee Kuan Yew's face there.
It always makes me think, last time Apple had all those Think Different ads.
Yeah.
Then they showed old pictures of Einstein and Think Different, all that. I wonder if they had to...
Copyright.
Yeah, no, whether they had to pay the estate, the families of all these, people to use their faces. Right.
Because in some way it's associated
Yeah. Think Different,
Think Different. Then there was the Fools or something. Is it what?
Fools?
Steve Jobs had this quote, right? The idiots or something.
The idiots.
Wasn't there something?
He called a lot of people idiots. But
fucking what was the whole the spiel
I thought. There's a lot Steve Jobs has a whole library of quotes and all that
Okay, I will find it.
But while you're looking for that thing, also that I think this is not the first time that a complaint has come up, right? There was a previous complaint about a Grab share advertisement as well. That said if you're tired, if you don't want to deal with crowds anymore, maybe take a Grab share. And then it showed a picture of a person being squeezed in what looks like public transport, like MRT or something. And so apparently those complaints were dismissed. Although people complained, but they were dismissed by the ACAS.
That was the only other time it was that it got some feedback about greenwashing, right?
Yeah. ASAS, sorry, yeah. They dismissed that because I think they said that it did not, paraphrasing here, but it did not denigrate the act of using public transport, right? Whereas this ad in particular, I think it exaggerates the effectiveness to save the earth. Yeah. So a bit different.
And also because I mean the 3 ticks, 4 ticks, 5 ticks, it's like a standard lah, right? For the aircons.
Yeah.
And they were saying that they kind of like how you say the fact that it saves the earth. Like the 4 ticks, 5 ticks, you see it is a mark of accreditation lah. You know?
Yeah.
Whereas for this one, them saying it saves the earth, or like it emits this and this. One issue was that they also didn't back it up with studies lah in the ad.
Yeah.
So I mean it's tough to find a video anywhere. I do also because part of me also was like, okay, if it's a creative video, what's wrong with it lah? Do we really need to police all this? But just over the weekend in my family WhatsApp group, they were forwarding some videos talking about something about like don't put your wallets in the trays of airports.
Yeah.
Because there was this video of this guy like using his phone to take a photo of your ID in your wallet.
Yeah.
When you put it on the airport tray. But it was clearly simulated lah.
Yeah.
So then like I had to be the Debbie Downer and say, okay, I think that's fake. But then it was also like, but the message is good. What's wrong with that? Then you're blurring the lines between what's real and what's not lah.
Yeah.
And yeah, like basically people out there, it's very easy to believe shit lah.
Yeah. So I mean, that's the thing lah. I think Singapore is one of those places where we can do a lot more to protect consumers from misleading or false advertising, whether it's from the watchdogs or the authorities and all that.
Yeah.
So I actually saw this as a good step lah. It's a good first step, you know.
You don't feel like they're controlling everything, Terrence.
But I do think that companies need to take more responsibility about these things, about these claims that they make also lah. So did not fully appreciate. I didn't fully appreciate Prism Plus's response also. You know, saying that if you're smart enough, then you should be able to discern what is right and what's wrong. In some ways, it's like that's what they're saying, lah, right? You must be stupid to not understand this, lah, right? So I mean, yeah, lah. It should be more like they should be a bit more responsible with the message, especially when it comes to these kind of things, lah.
Yeah, I agree. And I think overall, in general, it's also something that, because like just reading up, not to say Prism is a scam or something, but there are more and more scam cases that are coming up.
Yeah.
And I think the level of trust for anything you see online, it needs to be higher. And this kind of thing is like holding accountable brands.
Yeah.
Which I think is, I also agree that, I think this is a good thing. This is a good thing.
And somehow you are a Prism Plus customer also, but you also do see this right as being a bit.
I mean, to their credit, the TV has worked fine.
Yeah.
In fact, my other TV just died over the weekend.
Okay.
But that's like a 7-year-old TV.
Okay.
So now I'm using the Prism as my main TV.
I see. You've taken over it.
Yeah,
okay,
taken over. But yeah.
But the other thing that jumped out to me was like, at one point Prism was all about TVs, right? I think it was nothing but TVs. But in the last year or so, I think suddenly it's become aircon, air purifiers, ceiling fans, all that. And that's when I think alarm bells started to ring for me. Like, not that I'm looking for all these things, but it started to be like, okay, wait. If your core business was in selling TVs, how come suddenly you are like expert aircons and ceiling fans and all these things? So there's just my own subjective opinion of it, but it just feels like the whole thing just got very diluted. Like you don't know what the hell the company is about anymore. Whereas back then, it could be like, they are. You could start kind of argue that they are the low cost budget experts on televisions and all that. But now it's like,
so that's their branding, budget experts on everything,
Yeah. So maybe that's what they're going for.
Yeah.
But I do feel like even for consumers with a little bit more, a bit more discerning, you also will start questioning, right?
Yeah.
You start questioning, hey, what is this company about, right?
So you're telling customers they should know lah.
Yeah, you should know lah.
You should know lah.
If you're a little bit discerning.
Yeah, if you're a little bit discerning. If you're a little bit discerning. Oh, but Prism really has grown.
Yes. There's some interesting photos. They showed their initial fleet.
Yeah. Like 3 vans or something, right?
And then now it's like, I don't know, 40, 50 vans or something.
Oh, that is insane.
But
man.
It's we kind of it's better that we have a bit more transparency and understand what's going on with what people are doing with the products and the money and all, which also is related to our next topic, where some what I assume is a young person somehow got caught in this conundrum of whether to be transparent about money issues to her friends or to just keep it quiet. And she posted it on Reddit, and it seems to have blown up a little bit, and articles are being written about it as well, right?
Yeah. So I mean, this all went viral off a Reddit post lah. So it was something that was posted on Reddit, which is no longer there. But Mothership picked it up. I don't know why Mothership writes articles about Reddit posts, but it did get a lot of traction. So basically, this person was saying they went to a wedding dinner, Chinese wedding dinner. They ate the dinner and they weren't able to give an ang pao lah. And then so they felt really bad. And it's a her or he? Did they clarify anywhere?
Not sure actually.
Because it's anonymous, right?
Yeah.
So apparently what happened after that is that they felt really bad. They felt guilty for eating a $250 plus meal without paying for it and managed to leave the venue uneventfully. So that line is taken verbatim from the post. A few days later, the bride dropped her a message. Okay, so it was a her lah. So the bride asked her if she had forgotten to give an ang pao. And from the post again, the text was worded politely and seemed almost genuinely puzzled they couldn't find my ang pao as they managed to find everyone else's and wondered if it was an oversight on my end.
Yeah.
So after she paid all her bills, she could spare $50 lah. So the thing that they said is the conundrum was that the window of giving is almost passing before it's too late. Too long has passed.
Yeah.
And whether giving $50 would do more damage than repair lah. And then a lot of comments online from all different perspectives and POVs. But basically, that was the thing that went viral. So what made you want to talk about this? Because haven't we talked about wedding ang paos enough, Terrence?
Tons. But remember, there's a whole new generation of people, young people, who are coming to it for the first time.
Yeah.
And coming to it in a climate of inflation, increased prices and everything. And I think the latest report in November was that wedding banquets are going to increase in price by 10 to 20% next year. And it's true. I know I know friends who have been looking around all that, and it's very expensive now, right? So they're starting to get into the groove of the friends getting married and what the social norms around it. And so I think this will be a perennial thing, right?
Yeah.
Because I think this act of giving ang paos is a very polarizing topic,
Yeah.
And I know you have your big thoughts about it also, right? And now you are married as well, and so you kind of seen both sides of it, right?
I've been through the baptism of fire. Yeah.
So what do you feel about this? Even though we have spoken about this, but maybe it was before you got married and all that, right?
I mean, this one, okay, so assuming this post is a legit story, because people have since dug up saying that, this poster actually a few months ago was talking about where are the best places in Japan to go or something.
Yeah.
So is money really an issue? So screw that. Yeah. It's still even if it's hypothetical, it's an interesting case. So I think if money was tight, then don't go for a wedding. I think that's one thing.
Yeah.
And then,
but you want to be part of someone's big day and be part of festivities and all that and feel happy for them.
Yeah, but then or at least be upfront.
Yeah.
Just say, I'm in a really tight spot. I would love to be there. Is there or something? I don't know. It just feels like you go there, you eat the meal, and you just leave, and then now you're feeling guilty about it. I don't know. That felt a bit like you kind of dug a hole for yourself.
There's a whole economy that goes around the wedding dinners, right? That is kind of in Singapore. It's kind of understood that if you go to a wedding dinner, you kind of have to
give a gift,
give something to at least try and cover the cost of the food and everything, right? I know last time you hated this concept.
No, I would still say I hate the concept of a market rate for a wedding. I fucking hate that.
Yeah.
And I would still not give market rate for a hotel for anybody who's going to invite me to their wedding.
Yeah.
Depending on my friendship with you, I will give it proportionate to that.
Okay.
Yeah, I won't give it proportionate to the hotel.
Okay.
And this is from someone who organized a wedding And like yeah lah, like I didn't expect anything from any friend or
Yeah.
anything lah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I hate the market rate thing.
Um, so I think that's part of the not saying that market rate is part of it, but part of the understanding is that if you go for this thing, it costs money.
You have to give something.
Generally give something, right? And not giving anything, I think, even if you give a little something, right? At least it's kind of okay, whatever. But if you go without giving anything, that's the tougher one, right?
Yeah.
But the other thing also is like, just to that earlier question, and because this person, I think they say that this person says that they are not actually that close to the bride anymore. In fact, they're more like acquaintances these days. Like they were used to be close in school. And just when I was saying about like, people, you want to be part of the big day or that, I think the big secret, if anything, that I learned from my own wedding is that you will just factor in a very, very small, minute fraction of the person's memory and time of that day also. Because there's so many people. Usually there's these wedding banquets, they're very big and there are a lot of people and all that, right? So if you don't, even if you go to the wedding and you are part of it, the bride or groom might not even know that you're there, right?
Yeah, because your wedding was big, lah.
It's big, yeah. So I mean, obviously, closer friends, I knew, but there are friends that you invite. Sometimes you didn't even see them the whole dinner, and you literally like, hey, were you there at the wedding? That kind of thing, don't feel too bad about not attending a wedding. And you can always make up for it, like in terms of your friendship, right? You can have dinner or something afterwards or whatnot, right?
Like, I mean, have you turned down wedding invitations just because you maybe were not that close to that person?
Yeah, I would say, yeah. In the sense that, I mean, I would rather than be part of the whole thing. I don't mind meeting up for coffee or something instead, right?
Like a $250 coffee or something.
No. Just a standard coffee. Yeah.
You give like 1 year's worth of coffee.
Yeah. No. But because it's just not a place where you really get to talk to the bride or groom very much, the wedding day itself.
Yeah. And I mean, the reality is, it is expensive. Right. If you're going to a wedding where you might not even know the people at your table, you don't know the couple that well.
Yeah.
I think maybe it's a rite of passage thing. Because earlier on at weddings, I was like, it's a social thing, can meet people, meet friends.
Yeah.
Then after you go for quite a few, you're like, why am I like just
subjecting yourself to these?
Subjecting, and like it's not cheap.
Yeah.
Right. So then you just make that call.
Yeah. You make that call.
Yeah.
So in this case, this person, I think, is not even a close friend or relative or anything like that. So I think that's her first mistake, like just still going even though she's not even required to be there.
So then what do you think about the bride's message?
I mean, that's the second part of the thing. The second lesson that for this young person is that maybe the friends that you have or the people that you think are your friends also, you might want to reconsider the friendship, right? Because if people are so calculative about it also, where they're literally like going through the checklist of your names and things like that. Then do you really want to be that in that kind of friendship with that kind of person, right?
Yeah. So you also feel it was weird for the bride to message,
A bit weird, it's a bit weird.
Yeah, I think it's a bit weird also.
Because it's one of those things. I think you if you invite a person and they come and you kind of register that they came, then even if you do a checklist, you run a checklist yourself to see how much ang pao a person gave and all that. Would you still messaging them about it is a bit strange.
Like apparently a few days later, and according to the poster, the bride managed to find everyone else's and wondered if it was an oversight on their end.
Yeah.
So taking that at face value is like one person never gave.
Yeah.
That's why I still give the benefit of the doubt that this was true because I can imagine it happening.
Yeah.
Right. And I think everybody has that one friend where you go out for dinner and after dinner, maybe like a few days later, you're like, you paid $610. It's actually $625 or something, Then you just have to pay that back.
Yeah.
So in this case, I mean, like, I remember for my wedding, I did have a list just when calculating, okay, how much then we need to deposit it in the bank and all. And I did match it to the name.
Yeah.
I can't even remember whether there were people who gave or not gave because to me, okay, so this is where also like I found out from growing up and talking to my friends from different cultures and all, their approach to wedding finances, right, is like different. For Indian wedding, right,
Yeah.
it's a loss maker.
Yeah.
You expect,
Taken,
okay, this is gonna fucking spend. And as I got older, I realized from like my friends who, many Chinese couples or like Chinese individuals, they said for the wedding you can almost kind of break even, like that's the goal, and that blew my mind.
Yeah.
Like it blew my mind. So I think approaching it from that angle also might change your perspective on like every dollar that comes in, lah.
Correct.
Yeah.
But it's also part of the reality of living in Singapore, right?
Mm.
This is the system.
Yeah.
If you want to get married here, you have to be part of that system, right?
Mm.
Okay. Let me walk that back a little bit. You can choose not to do it, right? You can choose not to do it, but everyone knows that when it comes to weddings and family gatherings and all that, a lot of different opinions have to be considered, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes if someone just decides, I'm not going to have a wedding dinner, I'm just going to RM and all that, there can be a lot of upset parents-in-laws or parents and things like that. So you're trying to balance everything, and that is the kind of the system, the sandbox that we're playing in,
Yeah.
And the people who benefit the most are the venues and the hotels and all that, running all these things, right? They're the ones who benefit of this tension between what people want and what people don't want, right?
Yeah.
Then they just keep marking up every year, and they're like, that's demand. There's just demand. Every year there are people getting married. There's always like a new couple getting married,
I'm surprised. I'm surprised there hasn't been some sort of stuff that comes into the middle, like where, okay, let's say you have a range of guests, and maybe like it registers like how much people are giving on the fly, that it calculates, and then it kind of like averages it out. So if you got some very rich friends, they give it this amount, they kind of offset it for the people who are not that well to do.
So what is that meant to be, an app or something?
I don't know. I feel like there's it's still probably the same way it's working as it has been for like 20, 30 years. I feel there's something that can be done. I don't know what yet.
So the other thing I think about is that kind of thing where you have some real-time understanding of whether you're about to break even.
Yeah, before dessert.
It's like in church, asking for gifts, right? And then you hand over a little bag around and hey, we still need a little bit more to cover the wedding.
If you hit 70%, come on, guys.
Come on, just a little bit before you dig into your mango pudding, Just like, if you just take it out of your pockets, whatever spare change you have, I appreciate it.
Yeah. Come on, guys, just a little bit more. We can do it. And then after that, once we hit it, it's party all night. But until then, please, dig into your pockets.
Yeah.
Ah.
So would it, speaking, since we were talking about all the transparency and advertising standards all that earlier, what do you think of the practice of like people, if you're going to invite people for a wedding, just putting upfront in your wedding invite?
I won't go for a wedding.
Minimum ang pao for this, because we're doing it at this location, minimum ang pao is $200.
I won't go for a wedding.
You won't go?
I won't go.
Why? But they're so clear about it, and they're very clear about it.
Because then what is a wedding about? Is it there to celebrate love and the union of two souls?
It is lah.
Or is it a business?
It's in this location, lor. And then they're very transparent about what it needs to cover.
No, then how come I wasn't involved in the process of choosing the location? You want me to tell you how much to pay? Then when you're deciding the locations, then you also involve your guests.
Maybe they put out a poll on Facebook that you didn't participate in.
That means I'm not part of the group that they value the opinion of.
It was public, but you didn't look at it, lah.
So then
it was an Instagram story that died after 24 hours. So
then I would really, okay, if it's a really good friend, I probably will still go.
Yeah.
But I would feel like, wow, this is very like.
No, so if they don't say $200, but let's say they put minimum $150.
No, but even then, like,
minimum $100.
So if I give $90, that means what? I'm an unwelcome guest.
No, you're there, but they already gave like a benchmark, like $100.
Yeah, I would
go
still
a long
feel
way
like
to help us.
I would still feel.
And you still say no.
No, I might still go.
Yeah.
Like, and depending on how good a friend that person is, if it's good enough, I'll tell them like, hey, why you put this here? Because then it makes it very transactional.
But in some ways it removes the ambiguity. Like, then these kind of situations like this Redditor experience won't happen.
No, then I would say hold a wedding at a venue where even if people give like a small amount, it's still fine by you. If your choice of venue is dependent on people giving you X amount, then to me that's a recipe for disaster.
Correct. But so if they lower the amount even further, $50 or something, you still like be very upset, is it?
No, I wouldn't be upset. I would feel like it just feels very soulless.
But I mean,
So you be okay with that? You be okay with that?
I know somebody who actually
know.
had that
I know.
on their wedding invites.
Yeah.
I thought it was refreshing, to say the least. In the sense that it's unambiguous. It was very in line with the couple's personalities also,
And what was the exact phrasing?
I think recommended ang pao is $200 lah, and I think there was a little bit of being a little bit apologetic about being so upfront about it, but it's just the reality of what it is lah. Of organizing a wedding in Singapore.
Then I feel like I'm attending a ticketed event like that.
Correct.
Yeah. So then if it's ticketed event, then I'll be like, is it worth going? I don't know.
So you're rejecting it based on principles and not because of the amount already, like. Because it's not even about whether it's 50 or 100 or 200.
Because I mean, if it's on your invite, like everybody puts in a lot of thought or like some thought into the invite, right? And everything you put there is a very conscious decision. And for you to put it there, then it really feels like, okay, then why you have it at that venue? Like it's already it's a huge amount, like.
So they send you an invite, then after that they call you and they say, hey, the general recommended ang pao is about $100 there or $200 or what. They don't put it on the invite lah. They call you and tell you personally. Then is that okay for you?
Oh, then I would feel even more like, wow, that's a lot of pressure, man.
Then say okay lah, it's okay lah.
Noted lah,
if you cannot come, then it's
okay.
okay.
So then I probably would feel like very turned off by that lah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then you still wouldn't.
You if they call you?
I think I generally, I think a wedding is very, very always a very tricky endeavor in Singapore.
It is.
Cost, fulfilling everyone's wishes and all that. So if I actually kind of appreciate if someone just tells me upfront what it is, so I can say yes or no, right? If the money is really a big concern for me, like some of these places that are listed in that the article that was written about this thing, like what $500 or $400 something dollars to go to the flower dome at Gardens by the Bay, that kind of nonsense.
Fuck, man.
To me, it's like, if that is what is the expectation, then I think.
Oh my god!
Yeah, that money will go a long way towards providing education for a child in my home. So I would rather, spend it on that, So at least if someone is so unambiguous about it, and I can just straight away say yes or no, right? And again, I also don't think that a wedding banquet is necessarily the best place for me to send my well wishes to the person. Then okay lah. I think it's not a bad thing. It's
really?
At least they're upfront about it, and there's no awkward like what happened to this Redditor here, But you want that awkward That's
why does it have to be awkward? Like, okay, so this Redditor also, if you're going for something, it's like you go to someone's house for a meal or something.
Yeah.
Like, it's a nice thing to bring something, right?
Sure,
If they say come to my house for dinner, I'll cook everything. You go there with something, because you don't want to just freeload, right?
Correct.
So I would say this poster did the first faux pas, So then here's another question, which does it matter the socio-economic tier of the people getting married? Let's say it is the son or daughter of a billionaire, and you go to the hotel.
Yeah,
would that play into how much you give?
Maybe less so. I feel like they don't need the money.
Yeah,
right.
So that's why like the whole thing about the whole market rate for hotel, I think like the wedding thing, because just randomly, like I did go to some wedding where it was a very wealthy family, and there was a lot of discussion within the family.
Yeah.
Should we give? And some people were saying, why should we give? It's crazy. But then I still feel like if it's a wedding you're going to, like, it's just like a formality, you should still give something. Like some didn't give at all.
Oh really?
So then I'm like, but does that matter? Then then in the wedding invite you should also put your tax returns from the previous year.
But that's where to our point earlier, I think the people who benefit the most are the the hotels and the venue operators and all that. And that's what I think when I give an ang pao for a wedding, that's what you are like paying for lah. It's almost like cover charge to go for a party in the venue,
Correct, it's a cover charge.
So I don't look so much think about who's in the venue or who's organizing the party, I'm thinking about the cover charge to enter, and what's the general cover charge to cover my meal and blah blah.
So you think about it that way, like
I think about it that way, right? So I wouldn't think like, because he's a billionaire, then I don't give anything, or 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 I give more because this person needs more. No. In that case, I think if it's your friend, a very close friend that you want to help them, buy stuff for the house. Or whatever,
then you give more.
You give more. But not to the point of like, because you're rich, I don't have to give you more.
Exactly.
I think that's not great. I think there's other ways to do it. Just meet them outside, right?
Yeah.
And I appreciate it when there are people who tell me upfront. When I invited them, they're like, weddings not really my thing, but I'll meet you after lah. I'm like, okay lah, that's.
So you mean I could have told you that for your wedding?
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, people did, and I still am friends with them.
No lah, please lah.
The ones that I didn't appreciate were those who RSVP, yes,
then don't come,
and then don't turn up at all. Don't turn up at all. No message, nothing about like, sorry. And this was with like, even after sending WhatsApp like confirmations and are you coming? Yeah, coming. See you there. After that, just don't turn up.
It just ghost.
Just ghost. And that one I think is not good.
That one not cool.
Because ultimately I also had to, uninvite people to make certain accommodations for them and all that. So that's the one that I even after all these years,
delete contact.
I still bear a bit of a.
And you still remember, is it?
Still remember,
remember.
Yeah. Because I think as much as I mentioned earlier that it's not the best place to interact with the bride and groom, but if they invited you and you said yes and you double confirmed yes and everything, and you just don't turn out on that day, I think it's really bad form lah.
That is bad form.
It shows you really disregard how other people your relationship with that person.
So now maybe next time collect ang pao payment upfront.
How? Like pay now?
Yeah, pay wedding invite, you put a QR code. Pay now.
Actually, that's not bad idea.
Yeah, we don't give you the address or the location until you fucking pay now.
Yeah. Then you unlock the QR code.
Then you don't, or 50% upfront or something like,
Yeah. Actually, the 50% is great.
50% upfront.
It's that kind of thing where people have money, skin in the game, then they will come already lah. Yeah.
And maybe on monthly installments. If you're going through a tough time, you sign up for the 24-month or 12-month plan.
Grab
by gyro.
Pay later. Pay later by.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I mean, so many potential solutions, man.
Yeah. But so you are more for just still keeping this archaic practice of like being very vague about how much and everything.
It's just like the human. It's not archaic, Terence.
Yeah.
So it's the spirit of it.
The spirit of it.
Yeah. It's not all about efficiency and transparency, Terence.
Oh, no market rate, nothing.
It is just the softer side of life that you have to appreciate. You go because you want to be there. You want to celebrate the love. The union. And not about the food and stuff like that. You go to be with friends.
Cannot have market rate. I thought you said you're very adaptable. You cannot adapt to the market rate.
Certain things I cannot adapt. Fuck the market rate. Yeah. Screw that shit.
Cannot adapt.
I do not believe in the market rate. At all.
Yeah.
Cannot adapt. That one I'm unadaptable.
Yeah. I think one day the older not to say older, younger people or even people in the future, generations of the future, will look back at a conversation like this and probably be like, wow, these guys I can't believe society used to run like that.
Yeah.
People like, wow, so they were having to like be so surreptitious about how much money they were giving to each other and hide them in little red packets and give to
next
each
time
other.
Crypto,
you just
crypto.
Bitcoin in your wallet is very clear.
All traceable. All traceable.
All the time they use paper and they give to each other and all.
Yeah, this person gave me X amount last time, so now I just give back the same, plus inflation, plus value of money over time. Yeah.
Well,
interesting. But I'm sure people listening also will also have their own thoughts. So yeah.
But yes,
cool, man.
I guess it's because it's the end of the year. We're getting to that season, right? Everyone's like a lot of unions, a lot of weddings, a lot of marriages, and all. But yeah, since talking about that time of the year and being happy, what is your one Shiok comment?
Yeah, my one Shiok comment was a comment on the YouTube video for Yalabat 469 when we talked about the mobility scooters. So it's from Tulips and Peaches 1834. And what they write is, when Harish shares how he feels seeing people on these PMAs, I get so tilted. Some disabilities may not be noticeable at first glance, but to the elderly folk having difficulty going long distance from point A to point B, these PMAs go a long way to maintain their mobility, whether to gatherings, outings, or to medical appointments, and hence QOL. Maybe we youngsters can't fathom what it's like to have a few aching joints and muscles here and there, or to have leg problems while going for dialysis, but one day it will be our turn to become old. Be compassionate, people. So when I read that, I'm like, I mean, see, this is where your labeling, right, of me as being uncompassionate trickles over to the viewers.
How do you know? How do you know that it wasn't of their own accord?
No, because they get so tilted. And I assume tilted is not a positive sentiment.
Yeah.
What I was saying is, like, it just makes it harder for me to... It makes me, how you say, like not wholeheartedly believe that everyone in a mobility, personal mobility aid requires it. Because it's just like, if everybody can get it, then what about the people who really need it? So... yeah, it's making... That's what I said. I feel like an asshole. I don't act on it, but I mean, yeah. I can be compassionate. But I think this comment was like, yeah, like I just... It's not say like I can't notice. Like some, yeah, you can't notice. But I also won't like say that everyone on a personal mobility aid should be on a mobility aid. Yeah, but I thought, like, I mean, I still appreciate people putting their sentiments on something I said and calling me out where I need to be called out. But this one, it did make me think, lah. I'm like, hey, am I really like that? Yeah, but yeah, lah.
I mean, yeah, lack of compassion, in general.
You see, it's just everything I said in the past 1.5 minutes. How you sum it up is like lack of compassion. It's lack of compassion. Sorry, Harish. You got lack of compassion.
Oh man, it's okay lah. It's just
terrible.
It's an opinion. It's an opinion.
Yeah. What about you, man?
Yeah, I mean,
lack of compassion.
Yeah.
Lack of compassion.
On the Reddit thread about episode 468, we're talking about Lawrence Wong dismissing the circuit breaker. Funny Chris 1981 said that just wanted to let Terrence or anyone else know that on your banking app, if you change your internet banking nickname to something else, so that when scammers type in your mobile number, they will not see your name, they will see your nickname. So at least on the DBS banking app, FYI.
Oh.
And I read that, I was like, oh fuck yeah. Then I now feel like fucking boomer.
Yours is your full like NRIC name.
I haven't changed it basically. So it's like, yeah, I was
wonder they know your Chinese name, English name, last name, everything.
Exactly. But I guess it's an important public service announcement here for anyone who hasn't done it, to go on your DBS banking app and change your nickname.
Yeah.
So that scammers don't have your full name and everything.
Wow.
Have you changed yours?
Not yet.
No. So your full name also.
I don't think it's my full name.
I don't think it's your full
name. I don't think so, but I need to check also.
Okay, yeah. But yeah,
service announcement.
Thanks for pointing that out. I think that helps.
Cool,
Funny
man.
Chris 1981.
And what about your one Shiok thing?
My one Shiok thing was over the weekend there was a UFC fight. I think it was UFC 296, if I'm not wrong, the last event of the year. And it's pretty funny because the David Goggins actually was in the, what do you call it? He was there with one of the fighters, Tony Ferguson. He was what's the term for it? Like when those the hype team, the training team, the coaches and all that follow the fighter around.
The fighter trained with him for like a month or something.
Yeah. So the lead up to this, David Goggins is like this motivational speaker, like very hardcore, all about hustling and running. And he's an endurance athlete also, who's very famous because he's written books.
A nut,
he's a nutcase and just talks about going hard and don't be a little bitch and things like that. So he partnered with this fighter, Tony Ferguson, who's been on as of last week, 6-fight losing streak. A beloved legend in the sport, but has been on a 6-fight losing streak, and people say also that he's got bigger issues than just physical. It's also mental issues and stuff like that. So they actually partnered up I don't know, a month or 2 months ago, where suddenly there were videos of David Goggins training with Tony Ferguson and all. So people are like, what the hell is this? And what's going to come out of it? Like, does David Goggins, does his brand of training translate to an MMA fighter actually performing better during performance? So David Goggins was actually there with the fighter as part of his crew.
Yeah.
And it was then funny because there were all these like every time you watch a fight, like in between rounds, the fighter sits down and then his team surrounds him and all. Then David Goggins is like standing there behind him, just staring and giving this like stoic face, like almost like willing him to fight harder and everything. But yeah, to answer my own question, ultimately Tony Ferguson lost.
Oh, he lost.
He lost, big loss, and wasn't close or anything. So I think that David Goggins only really like tried to hype him up in the last round or something. And he said it's just funny hearing David Goggins' voice coming from a sports broadcaster and just seeing the whole thing happen in real time. Like, wow, what kind of like simulation are we living in?
Oh shit.
Yeah.
But has it been talked about like I think I saw Joe Rogan have a clip about talking about Tony Ferguson and David Goggins. Like, how was it seen by the MMA community? Is it a good thing or people were making fun of him? Or?
No, so Tony Ferguson, he's not young anymore. He's closing 40. And a lot of people are saying he should retire soon already.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest issue is like, you go for this kind of endurance training, it hypes you up, makes you feel confident and everything. But does it really do anything to help your actual martial arts training, right? Because martial arts training I think a lot of it's about technique and everything. And unfortunately, during the fight, it showed that there wasn't enough emphasis on changing how he approaches the technique, martial arts of things, the techniques. So he was doing a lot of things that very clearly were like, why would you do that, And so just it was even some kind of mental leap that he achieved from working with David Goggins didn't help him during this fight.
Oh shit, man!
Yeah. Well, it was just funny to watch. So I'm sure there are clips of it on the internet now.
Was Jake Gyllenhaal also filming something at this UFC?
No, there was a
previous UFC.
Yeah, previous ones.
I just saw a clip of that over the weekend. Cool. My one shook thing is the news that like a Singaporean powerlifter who's the current world record holder for deadlift broke her record again. So she's a 31-year-old Farhana Farid, and she rewrote her own record for the under 52 kilogram category.
Wow.
And she deadlifted 208 kg.
Wow.
That's 4 times her body weight.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think I saw the picture. Yeah, it looks like her arms are like massive, man.
Yeah, it's just like holy shit. And I think she started powerlifting quite late also. But yeah, this is the 8th time she has rewritten the record in the past 1.5 years.
Yeah.
Holy shit, man. Like, it's a world record and like, wow, solid. Just, I think previously also she was featured, the last record she set was 200.5 kg.
How do you come across this?
On Mothership.
Mothership,
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know whether any of the other news outlets are covering, but I hope she gets all the coverage and plaudits that she deserves, because it's like, 280, a world record basically for deadlift. So shout out to Farhana Farid. And 31, I think still got like time in her career because I think it's not one of those where by 30 you're done.
Yeah.
The previous world record was 203 kg 6 months earlier in June.
Wow.
At the World Open Classic Powerlifting Championships in Malta.
Wow.
Oh, solid.
I've heard powerlifting is one of those things that is there's actually quite a strong community
in Singapore,
here.
Right?
Yeah, and like these world record lifters that you don't hear about them as much because it's not as sexy a sport or anything, right? But actually, there's a very strong community here.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
crazy. So yeah, kudos to you. Sweet, man.
Sweet.
Awesome. All right.
So yeah, Christmas. More episodes coming over that whole period, right? We're not. I mean, this weekend is Christmas, but we're still pumping out the episodes this week.
Man.
Yeah. And hopefully a few more next week or so.
Yeah. And so as always, if you enjoyed this episode, it'd be great if you could share it with one other person. And follow us on our socials and reach out at
contact@ministryoffunny.com.
Cool. Thanks, everybody.